Shalom, shalom. Here we go again. Here we go. Welcome to Mother Africa Be Calling. I'm your brother, Besalel Yehuda Yisrael, also known as Eric. I got a little food for thought for you. Got it all prepared for you, so let's cook. Okay, there it is right there. That's it right here. Check this out right here. Bud Light promotion posted by transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney on April 1st served as the catalyst for Bud Light's downfall. The boycott is also affecting other brews in the Anheuser Busch portfolio. So this right here, and this is the New York Post. This is the New York Post. Let's see when this article came out. It was done by Shannon Thaler, July 27th, 2023. Anheuser Busch to lay off hundreds of U.S. corporate workers after Bud Light campaign disaster. So let me go over to this one right here. I like this. I want to read this article. It's another article. Right here. This is where ABC News had to say about it. I'm just going to skip through some things. Here it is again. Anheuser Busch to lay off hundreds of workers after Bud Light boycott hammers sales. This was July 27, 2023. And this article was put out or done by Max Zahn. So look right here. Let me show you something here. Let me read this. And so the layoffs come months after a product endorsement from Dylan Mulvaney, a transgender influencer, in April set off a consumer boycott among conservatives that hammered sales. The layoffs will affect less than 2% of the company's U.S. employees, the company said. That figure amounts to roughly 380 workers, since the company's website says it employs a total of about 19,000 U.S.-based workers. Okay, so you get like 380 people basically getting laid off because of this commercial type with the transgender. So look, I'm gonna go down here. I don't want to read the whole article. I want to get to the meat of it. Sales of Bud Light across the U.S. fell for at least 6 weeks after the start of the boycott, according to data from Bump Williams Consultant and Nielsen NIQ reviewed by ABC News. For instance, sales dropped nearly 20%, 26% over the week ending on May 20th, the data showed. Okay. So, let's go down here. In response to the declining sales, the company provided financial support for tens of thousands of frontline workers at independent distributors. Anheuser Busch InBev CEO Ducaris said on an earnings call in May. After the initial boycott, Anheuser Busch InBev posted a statement in April from CEO Brandon Whitworth on its website. We never intended, this is what they're saying, we never intended to be part of a discussion that divides people, Whitworth said. We are in the business of bringing people together over a beer. Listen to this, y'all. Listen. The company places 2 executives who oversaw the endorsement of Mulvaney's Instagram post on leave, the Wall Street Journal reported in April. So 2 of the executives that oversaw this thing, that was basically, I guess, the ones who did it, the ones who did this advertisement, this campaign featuring LGBTQ representatives. So listen to the response. Now they got put on leave or suspension for doing it. Listen, The response to this is from the LGBTQ, since these guys got laid off or put on leave in response. So it's a backlash. So listen to what the LGBTQ had to say about it. The response drew sharp criticism from some LGBTQ advocates who considered it a capitulation to the backlash. The Human Rights Campaign, the nation's largest LGBTQ advocacy organization, suspended the company's corporate equality index score. US Today reported previously the company scored 100, the top rating. So what I didn't know, and I'm finding out right now, that LGBTQ has a rating index score. They rate index score on equality. So then they had the company score rated at 100. Now they taking them off of it. So because the company now backing up. Now listen, this company is losing millions of dollars. They losing a lot of money to the point where as though they got to lay people off because some of their supporters or some of their customers are now upset about this commercial using a man dressed as a woman. They are boycotting it. And so they're losing money. And so LGBTQ now this company is getting hit from both sides. LGBTQ is now going up against the companies, because it's saying, because the company is taking action against the executives that was behind it. So they're now saying that, we're going to drop your equality index score as we're going to suspend it. We had you at 100% rating, but we're going to suspend it. Now, when the wrong come up with something this is the wrong. People who are doing something that is wrong. Okay, it is wrong. So they're doing something that is going against nature. It's wrong, and so but they're doing it, and now they got some kind of scorecard that they put you on. Why would you even feed it? Why would anybody feed into that? It's like, okay, why would I care what rating you rate me as when I'm just trying to do something right? I mean, the bottom line is that this government that we have has caused this big problem because it is advocating for something that's just not right by the Almighty. It's not right by people. Even the people who are involved in it are being duped because it's making them believe that doing these things are right. It's making them believe that it's the right thing to do. All of us are subject to sin, and all of us can fall into lifestyles that are not right. But at the end of the day, we got to recognize it and say, yeah, but it's still not right. Like let's just take for an example. Let's say let's take a man who decides that he's going to be a player. And he's running a bunch of women, and he's married and doing all these things. Okay, it's a immoral lifestyle. So now, even though it is heterosexual, if he's dealing with women, relationships, it's still an immoral lifestyle. You still can't embrace it and say, well, it's right to do. So, all of us need to look at these things and say, is it right to do? So, they're trying to make it like it's a right thing to do. But fine, if that's what you want to do, but you cannot make people stop looking at it for what it is. I mean, if that's what you want to do, nobody can stop you. Nobody's going to harm you. And it's not about hate. It's all about love and telling the truth. We love people. You tell them the truth. You tell yourself the truth if you love yourself. When you know you're doing wrong, you have to tell yourself the truth. So let's go back and look at this right here. Here it is right here. Okay, this right here is the photo that was taken. Dylan Mulvaney, transgender, with the Bud Light can, and this is sir, this is not nothing to play with. This is not funny. And so let me read something to you. Let me read this to you. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying the word is right. The Father is right. Let's go to Deuteronomy 22:5. Let's see what the word has to say about this whole thing. Deuteronomy 22, and let's go to 5. It's the King James Version. The woman shall not wear that which pertain unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are abomination unto Yah, thy Elohim. Okay? Look. H8441. This is the Hebrew Concordance. Let's see what abomination says. Feminine active participle of H8581. It says properly something disgusting. It goes on abhorrence, disgusting, especially idolatry on idols. So basically it's saying it's disgusting. It's disgusting before Abba Yah. Okay? So now let's go to another one. Leviticus. Let's go to Leviticus. And let's say 18 and 22. Leviticus 18, and let's go to 22. See what it says here. It says, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination. That's the same thing as an abomination. Let's look at the scriptures. Let's look at how the scriptures had another version of the Bible to see how they wrote it. It says Leviticus 18:22. Again, it says, and do not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination. Some more up-to-date language. It says, and do not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination. Okay? Let's go back to Deuteronomy 22 and 5. Let's do it in this version. Deuteronomy 22 and 5. A woman does not wear that which pertains to a man, nor does a man put on a woman's garment. For whoever does this is an abomination to Yah, your Elohim. Okay, do you want to be an abomination to Abba Yah, the one who could judge, the one who is the final judge of your eternal life? Okay, when you go into eternity, it's so serious. And, people could get mad, but really this is all about love. It's like, I love our loved ones. Let me go to another scripture that backs this up, because people would say, well, I know some people talk about, well, that's the Old Testament. That's the Old Testament. Well, Old Testament and the New Testament are all the scrolls. Man made it an Old Testament and a New Testament. It's all the scrolls. But just let me answer that, because see, if you want to say it's the Old Testament, let's do this right here. Let me show you this. Let's go to Malachi. Malachi. Where are you? Malachi. Why is it taking me so long to see it? It's right in here somewhere. Let me get it. Here it is, right here. Sorry for the delay. Sometimes that happens. Malachi, because when you don't have a book and you're looking at it on a computer, it looks a little different. So here we go. Malachi 3 and 6. For I am Yah, I shall not change. And you, O sons of Jacob, or Yaakov, shall not come to an end. You hear that? For I am Yah, I shall not change. Let's look at the King James Version of it. Let's look at the King James Version. It says, for I am Yah, I change not. Therefore you sons of Jacob are not consumed. So there it is right there. So even if you say Old Testament, New Testament, Yah does not change. Yah does not change. So, it still angers him, even though we're not getting a direct judgment, like during those times, it would be, the priest would judge, and then the people would be told to stone people and different things like that. But Yah has suspended that. Yahshua now, is covered for that. So, but it still will be a problem at the judgment. Okay. So, and it's still consequences in this lifetime for going against the law. Like things happen. Like, let me say this. Think about this. our ancestors went into slavery for hundreds of years, right? Treated like cattle, okay? So this is the things that make us say stuff, not that we're perfect, no one is perfect, but we all have flaws and sins, so we have to then try to walk upright and struggle to to overcome the sin, because in Yahshua HaMashiach you can overcome. We are conquerors. We can overcome sin, right? And so he gives us that strength to do it. So let me say this. So sin is one thing, but accepting a lifestyle of sin is another. Meaning that we if you fall into sin, you're supposed to repent of it, get up, and if you fall 7 times, get up and fight it and walk and but you're not supposed to say, well, I'm just gonna live this way and live in it, because that's when you're in trouble for the judgment. So, and another thing is, people would say, well, y'all judging and this and that. Let me say this: the whole nation of Israel, the children of Israel, who they call Negroes, who they call niggers and all that, are the children of Israel. We went into slavery, that last slavery, the transatlantic slavery, where we were treated like cattle. Okay, let's just say I was living back during that time. But Yah spared me from going into captivity, and he allowed me to be an observer of our people going through all that because of bad behavior, because of lifestyles that are running contrary to his commands, right? Running contrary. So he's like, y'all hard-headed, they won't listen to me. He said, look, Beswell, I'm going to let you see. I'm not going to let you go into captivity. I'm going to let you watch all this that's happening to your family, the children of Israel, the ones I chose, who I gave my laws to. Since they want to do whatever they want to do, which is an abomination to me, watch this. And they let me see them getting snatched and kidnapped, branded like cattle with hot singeing iron, put in ships packed on top of each other, laying in their own vomit and their own feces, dying and going mad from diseases, being the young girls being snatched and raped at will by the enemy, right? Men being genitals being cut off, thrown overboard to sharks, right? All this hot chains around their necks, and then on their arms chained to one another. And I have to see all this. And I know that they were living a lifestyle like this. Let's say that they were back then saying, we're going to be LGBTQ anyway. And then this happens, and I'm watching all this. You think I wouldn't be hurt for my people? I would be hurt for my people. Even though they did what they did, I would still be like, oh, I don't want them to go through that. Being hung from trees, being babies being snatched off their breasts and being fed to alligators, little babies crying out in the water as alligators, they shivering and crying as alligators come up and clamp a hold of them. Okay, you think I want to see that? Try to escape from the brutality and get caught and get burnt alive. You think I would want to see that, even though, you say I hate, but yet you say people hate, and it's not hate. It's like we don't want to see you go through that, nor do we want to go through that. The whole nation went into captivity. You think everybody was living that lifestyle? No, because there were babies born. They hadn't even got the chance to live the lifestyle or any lifestyle, but they went into captivity and they were subjected to this. You think I would want to see any of my people, whatever they're doing now? I wouldn't want to see them, a mother crying as her 5-year-old daughter gets snatched from her and taken to another plantation, and she know what's going to happen to her. You got pedophiles that's going to be raping her at 5, and she's so innocent. How about even boys being molested and raped by men, being on plantations, right? You think that, and the father can't do anything about it because he's being raped, right? You think I would want to see something like that? Now, if I would, then that's not love. But love is avoiding that, because when it comes down to abomination and sin, judgment is coming, right? So that's what this is what this is all about. See, we can't fall for the saturation of a wrong just because you saturate society with it and keep pushing it like our government is doing, and pushing it like they keep playing, like on the radio they'll play a song over and over and over again because that's what they want you to like. That's what they want you to like because whatever deal was made behind closed doors, that they would play this song and they would push it on the population. But a lot of times you may not like the song, but they play it so much you end up liking it. Well, this is what they're trying to do with this. And they also are fooling our people, the people who are falling for it, who are engaging in this, who really believe that this is right. I mean, you got to, recognize that, what, I'm not going to put myself in a situation. I mean, I know people struggle with it, and I'm sympathetic with that. We all struggle with something. I'm not saying that, oh yeah, well, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. No. I'm not saying that, because none of us are perfect. We all fall short and we do things. It's accepting a lifestyle and saying, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna push it on other people, and this and that. That's what it's about. It's not about, no, all of us are fall short in sin, but we got to fight and struggle and strive to do right. You can't accept. Let's just say, let's take a man who is a heterosexual. He's a married man, and then he's just running around and he's messing with everybody else's wife and messing with women and everything. And you say, well, do we accept that? It's still an immoral lifestyle. So it would be the same thing for that type of activity or that type of man. You're not supposed to do it, and it's not to be accepted and say, okay, yeah, but so what? I'm not perfect, and you're not perfect, and you're judging me. No, that's not what we want to do, because there is a price to pay, and that's at the judgment. It's called the lake of fire for eternity. And so when somebody is telling people to not do this, even though there's consequences in this lifetime, that we found out because we just came up out of slavery. It has not been that long ago. What, 169 years or something like that? 170 years? If that. We have not been out of chattel slavery that long ago. As a matter of fact, you can even though 1865 was when it was supposed to completely end it, okay, but at the end of the day, it still continued because they came with all these different laws to put you back in slavery, and they was putting them on chain gangs and sharecropping, and so we were still in slavery. So I'm saying I'm gonna end with that. I just wanted to look at our people to look at this, and don't fall for the campaign. I'm talking about those who are involved in it, those who have those tendencies and all that. Don't fall for that. Just pray to Abba Yah and turn from it, and fight and fight with it and fight against it and keep walking. If you fall, get back up. Just love and fear Yah, and so the race is not for the swift. It's for those who endure to the end. You have to just endure. We all have to fight and fight this thing, and just struggle. If you got to struggle, fight it. Y'all knows what you're doing. He see your struggle, but don't just surrender to it and just say, okay, this is it. This is right. Shalom.